Deciding between Delaware and Wyoming as a location for the formation of your corporation is an important decision. There are some initial considerations we would like you to take into account. One is a corporation actually right for you? An LLC is a much simpler entity form, has easier to understand tax implications, and for most startups is going to make much more sense. Please see our other pages on this topic if you think an LLC may be right for you. When it comes to Delaware and Wyoming, there are some important distinctions we want you to take into account. One is the complexity of maintaining your entity. Another is the cost of maintaining your entity. Another is the timing of the fees for those maintaining of your entity, and the privacy features of Wyoming and Delaware law. So first off, the complexity. Delaware has a very well-developed body of law that has very specific rules related to specific actions that must be taken by the corporation, its board, and its officers and shareholders. Wyoming, on the other hand, has developed a very loose body of law called the close corporation statute. Closed corporations have very light record-keeping requirements, and the reality is it's going to be difficult to miss something because there are very light requirements. The complexity of Delaware law can be a benefit to investors, whether institutional or otherwise. It can also be a benefit to those who are seeking to hold the company accountable in litigation. Wyoming, on the other hand, makes it very easy to comply with the statutes. If you file your annual fees and do a minimum, you will likely be in compliance with Wyoming statutes. Another issue to consider when it comes to Wyoming and Delaware is the cost. The cost to maintain an entity in Wyoming is fixed, regardless of the number of shares issued or the value of the assets inside the corporation. The annual fee is $60 as charged by the state. When it comes to Delaware, the cost can vary significantly based on a number of factors, including the equity value of the company, so what the company has within it and what it's worth, as well as the number of shares issued. This can lead to a difference in fees of between $450 per year to upwards of $200,000 per year for the annual fees related to a corporation in Delaware. Another issue is the timing of when those fees are due. In Wyoming, fees are due based on the organization date of the company, so once per year based on the date the company was formed. In Delaware, the fees are due once per year based on a fixed calendar date. So they're due in April of each year. And so if you formed your company in, say, December, we're only around for 1 month of the year, you would still owe a full year's worth of fees on the following March. When it comes to the privacy components, this is a real distinguishing factor when it comes to Delaware and Wyoming. In Wyoming, none of the information about the directors or officers or shareholders will be listed in a public database. However, in Delaware, the identity of all board members will be disclosed annually, as will the information of at least one officer of the company. So when taking all this into account, when you consider the complexity of operating your corporation, the cost of doing so, the timing of those costs, as well as privacy, we think that Wyoming creates a pretty compelling place to form your corporation.